Chapter 1. The Hospital. Craving. The fluorescent lights above hummed, a constant reminder that I was in a place where time moved differently. Hospitals always felt like that. Cold, timeless, draining. But today, I didn't care. My whole world was lying in the bed in front of me. My wife, her hand resting gently on her swollen belly, looked both fragile and strong. "Are you uncomfortable?" I asked softly, leaning forward so my voice wouldn't disturb the quiet of the ward. She smiled faintly, her lips pale but her eyes still sharp. "No, just hungry," I chuckled. "You ate barely an hour ago." "It's not the same," she murmured, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "I want noodles, the spicy kind, from the stall down the street." I blinked. "At this hour, you're serious?" "Yes," she said, eyes glinting with that same stubbornness I'd fallen in love with. "It's a craving." I sighed, pretending to be annoyed, though my heart softened instantly. "Fine, but you owe me. If the doctor yells at me for feeding you chili, I'll blame you entirely." She giggled, her laughter weak, but genuine. "Deal." I stood, brushing her forehead with my lips. "I'll be back soon. Don't go anywhere." She raised an eyebrow. "Where would I go?" "I'm hooked to these machines." We both laughed, and for a moment it felt like the old days, before the stress, before the long nights of work, before the silences between us grew heavier than words. As I walked down the hallway, I couldn't help but remember how far we'd come. 3 years ago, I gave up an opportunity to study abroad, just so I could stay by her side. Everyone told me I was foolish. I thought love was enough to justify anything. Maybe it was. At least, I believed it was. Outside, the night air felt heavy. The city was alive with noise, but in my chest there was only a quiet determination. I wanted to be the best husband, the best father, no matter what it took. At the food stall, the vendor looked surprised. "Out this late? You look tired, my friend." "My wife," I explained, trying to smile. "She's pregnant, craving noodles." The vendor's eyes softened. "Ah, then this bowl must be made with care. Sit, I'll prepare it hot." As I waited, my phone buzzed. A message from my best friend lit up the screen. "How's she doing? Everything okay?" I typed back quickly. "She's fine, craving food again. Guess that's a good sign." The reply came almost instantly. "Good man. Take care of her. Take care of yourself, too." I slipped the phone back into my pocket, suddenly aware of how heavy my chest felt. There were cracks between us, things left unsaid, but I kept telling myself it was stress, hormones, the pressure of parenthood looming. She still loved me. She had to. The vendor handed me the steaming container, the scent of spices filling the air. "Good luck, young man. May your child be strong." "Thank you," I said, bowing. Slightly before hurrying back to the hospital, the corridors were quieter now, dimmer, almost eerie. My footsteps echoed as I approached her ward. I imagined her smile when she saw me holding the food, imagined her teasing me about how long I took. I imagined feeding her one bite at a time, holding her hand, whispering promises of forever. But when I pushed the door open, the image shattered. She wasn't lying there alone. She wasn't waiting eagerly for me. Her lips were pressed against someone else's. For a second, my mind refused to accept it. The food slipped from my hands, the container crashing onto the floor, broth spilling like a spreading wound. She gasped, jerking away, eyes wide with panic. "It's not what you think." The man beside her, a tall figure in a suit, stepped back quickly, guilt flickering across his face. My throat tightened, but no words came out at first. My chest burned, my vision blurred. Finally, my voice cracked through the silence. "Not what I think. I leave for 20 minutes, 20 minutes, to get you food, and this is what I come back to." She stammered. "Please, please listen. Listen." I cut her off, my voice rising, trembling with rage. "I gave up everything for you. My dreams, my career, my peace of mind. And you—" My words faltered as I pointed at her trembling lips. "You give your love to someone else?" The man avoided my gaze, muttering, "I should go." "Damn right, you should," I snapped, my fists clenched so tightly my nails dug into my skin. He slipped past me, his shoes clicking against the floor until the sound vanished down the hall. I turned back to her. She looked pale, almost broken, but I couldn't feel pity. Not yet. Her eyes glistened. "I'm sorry, please, don't shout. It's not good for the baby." My chest heaved as I tried to control my breath. Every cell in me screamed to demand answers, to tear apart the lies, but all I could do was whisper, voice raw, "What have you done to us?" The room felt colder than ever. My heart, once full of love and hope, cracked under the weight of betrayal. And as I stood there, surrounded by the smell of spilled noodles, I realized nothing would ever be the same again. Chapter 2. Shattered in an instant. Her lips were still trembling when I stepped closer, the sound of broth dripping from the overturned container filling the silence between us. "I can explain," she whispered, clutching the bedsheet like it could shield her from the truth. I laughed bitterly, my voice echoing too loud in the sterile hospital room. "Explain? What exactly do you plan to explain? That I left for 20 minutes and somehow you what? Accidentally kissed another man?" Her eyes darted away. "It wasn't—" "Don't," I cut her off, my chest tightening. "Don't insult me with excuses." The monitor beside her bed beeped faster, matching the pounding in my ears. For a moment, guilt tugged at me. Shouting could hurt her, hurt the baby. But then I remembered his lips on hers. That image carved itself into me, deeper than any blade. She reached out, her fingers trembling. "Please, calm down. Sit with me. I'll tell you everything." I stepped back instead, folding my arms tightly against my chest. "Tell me here. Tell me while I'm still standing, because if I sit, I might not get back up." Tears welled in her eyes, sliding down her cheeks. "It was a mistake. He came to check on me. I was feeling lonely, weak, emotional. I didn't mean for it to happen." I clenched my jaw so hard it hurt. "Lonely? Weak? You had me. I've been here every day, every night. I gave up everything for you. And you call that lonely?" Her lips quivered. "I didn't want this. It just happened." "It just happened," I repeated, the words tasting like poison. "Do you know how pathetic that sounds? Do you even hear yourself?" She buried her face in her hands, sobbing. "I'm sorry, please believe me, it didn't mean anything." "Didn't mean anything?" My voice broke, softer now, but sharper. "Then why did it feel like it meant everything to me? Why does it feel like you tore out my heart and handed it to a stranger?" She looked up, her face red and wet. "I love you. I do. I was scared. Scared you didn't love me anymore. Scared you'd leave me once the baby came. I was weak. I needed reassurance. And I shook my head violently. "Don't you dare twist this into my fault. Don't you dare." Silence pressed down on us, heavy, suffocating. The machines beeped steadily, mocking the chaos in my chest. Finally, I whispered, "Who is he?" Her breath hitched. "It doesn't matter." "It matters to me," I roared, the sound bouncing off the walls. "Who is he?" Her eyes darted to the door, as if hoping he might still be there to rescue her. "He's just a friend. Friends don't kiss my pregnant wife." My fists trembled at my sides. "Try again." She swallowed hard, then whispered, "He's a coworker. He came to visit me. That's all." I let out a bitter laugh, dragging a hand down my face. "A coworker? Right. So while I was out chasing your cravings, while I was killing myself to make you comfortable, you had enough energy left to kiss a coworker." Her shoulders shook. "It was one mistake." "One mistake?" I stepped closer, lowering my voice so only she could hear. "One mistake is forgetting to lock the door. One mistake is misplacing your phone. What you did wasn't a mistake, it was a choice." Her tears fell harder, dripping onto the sheets. "I swear it won't happen again." I stared at her, at the woman I thought I knew, and felt something inside me shatter. "You swear?" I whispered bitterly. "You swore vows once too. Do you even remember them?" She sobbed harder, unable to look me in the eye. The silence stretched again, broken only by the sound of her crying and my own ragged breathing. I finally took a step back toward the door. My legs felt heavy, like they didn't belong to me anymore. "Where are you going?" she asked, panic rising in her voice. "Out," I said flatly. "Please don't leave me like this," she begged. "It was nothing. Please, for the baby, don't walk out on me." I paused at the door, my hand gripping the cold metal handle. For a long moment, I didn't know if I could move. Part of me wanted to stay, to forgive, to pretend this never happened. But another part, the part that was bleeding, knew nothing would ever be the same. Without looking back, I muttered, "You already walked out on us the moment you kissed him." Her sobs echoed behind me as I stepped into the hallway, my chest hollow, my soul burning. The door clicked shut, sealing us in two separate worlds, hers filled with guilt, mine drowning in betrayal. And for the first time since we married, I realized I might not recognize the woman lying in that bed anymore. Chapter 3. Echoes of Betrayal. The hallway felt endless as I walked, my footsteps hollow against the tiles. The smell of antiseptic clung to the air, but all I could taste was bitterness. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I shoved them into my pockets, trying to steady my breath, but the image of her lips on his replayed again and again, each time sharper, crueler. I stumbled into the hospital garden, empty at this hour except for the faint hum of streetlights. I sank onto a bench, clutching my head. Why? The word echoed inside me, louder than the night. Why her? Why now? Why when I gave everything? My phone buzzed in my pocket. It was my best friend, Amir. I answered without thinking. Yeah? You sound dead, he said immediately. What happened? Is the baby okay? The baby's fine, I muttered, staring at the ground. My throat tightened. It's her. She's not fine. Or maybe she's too fine. What are you talking about? I laughed bitterly, the sound cracking. I caught her, Amir. I left for 20 minutes. 20 minutes to get her food. Came back, and she was kissing another man. Silence. Then a sharp intake of breath. You're joking. Do I sound like I'm joking? My voice broke on the last word. Who? Who the hell was it? A coworker, I spat. That's what she said. Just a friend. Amir cursed under his breath. Unbelievable. After everything you've done for her, you gave up your scholarship, your career abroad, all to stay here for her. And this is what she does. My chest clenched at his words. Don't remind me. Every sacrifice I made feels like a joke now. I keep asking myself if I missed the signs, if I was blind. Maybe I wasn't enough. Don't you dare, Amir snapped. Don't you dare blame yourself. She made the choice. She betrayed you. That's on her, not you. I swallowed hard, my throat dry. I thought love was supposed to mean something. I thought if I gave her everything, she'd never look anywhere else. Some people don't know the value of what they have until they lose it, Amir said, his tone firm but heavy with sympathy. And sometimes, even then, they still don't learn. I pressed a hand to my chest. It hurt, like my ribs couldn't contain my heart anymore. What do I do, Amir? I can't even look at her. And yet, the baby. My voice cracked again. How can I leave when my child needs me? You don't leave your child, Amir said softly. But you don't have to chain yourself to her betrayal either. Be there for the baby. As for her, that's a choice you'll have to make. But don't decide in anger. Think it through. My eyes burned. I wiped at them quickly, ashamed of the tears. She begged me not to shout, said it wasn't good for the baby. And part of me, God help me, part of me still wanted to sit beside her, hold her hand, and believe her lies. What's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you, Amir said gently. It just means you loved her. You still do, maybe, but love doesn't erase betrayal. It just makes it hurt more. I closed my eyes, letting his words sink in. The garden around me was silent, as if even the night was listening. Finally, I whispered, I don't know if I can forgive her. Then don't, Amir replied firmly. Forgiveness isn't owed, especially not for something like this. She broke your trust. That's not something you hand back like nothing happened. I nodded slowly, though he couldn't see me. You're right, but I can't explode either. Not now. Not while she's carrying my child. I have to think about more than just myself. That's the man I know, Amir said softly. Strong enough to control the fire inside, even when it's burning you alive. I let out a shaky breath. It feels like I'm dying, Amir. You're not dying, he said. You're transforming. And when this is over, you'll be stronger than ever. I leaned back against the bench, staring up at the faint stars hidden by the city lights. I just wanted a family. That's all I ever wanted. You'll still have one, Amir said, but maybe not the way you imagined. And maybe that's okay. His words lingered as I ended the call, the screen going dark in my hand. For the first time I realized forgiveness might never come, but something else would, either revenge or justice. And as the night wrapped around me, I knew I had to decide which path I'd take. Chapter 4. The Mask She Wears. When I finally gathered the strength to walk back into her room, the lights were dimmed, and the steady beeping of the monitor filled the silence. She was lying back against the pillows, her face carefully composed, like nothing had happened. Her eyes flicked up when she saw me. You're back, she said softly, almost warmly. stood at the door, my hands shoved into my pockets. Of course. Where else would I go? My wife is pregnant in a hospital bed. What kind of man would I be if I abandoned her? Her lips curved into a small, rehearsed smile. You're a good husband. Better than I deserve. The words sounded sweet, but her tone was flat, controlled, too controlled. It wasn't remorse. It was a mask. I walked slowly to her bedside, pulling the chair closer. Funny, you say better than I deserve, yet you didn't hesitate to— My voice trailed off. I couldn't bring myself to finish the sentence. She lowered her eyes. I made a mistake. One I regret more than anything. I can't change it, but I can promise it'll never happen again. I studied her face carefully. The tears were gone. Her voice was steady. She wasn't broken. She was performing. Convenient, I muttered. You regret it after you're caught. Her eyes snapped to mine, flashing with something I couldn't quite read. Anger, fear, desperation. I didn't mean to hurt you, she whispered. But you can't stay angry. Stress isn't good for me. It isn't good for the baby. Please don't do this to us. I let out a sharp laugh. Don't do this to us? You think I did this? You kissed him. I saw it with my own eyes. She reached for my hand, but I pulled it back. Her face softened into a pleading expression. I need you, more now than ever. Please, can we move past this? For the baby. I leaned back in the chair, my arms crossed, watching her carefully. You're good at this. Really good. You've put on this perfect little act. Like you're the victim. Like I'm the unreasonable one. Her voice cracked, but I didn't trust it. I'm not acting. I'm scared. You're my husband, the father of my child. I don't want to lose you. I tilted my head. Then why risk it? Why invite another man here? Why let him touch you? She shook her head quickly. It was nothing. It was weakness. I was lonely. I thought maybe you weren't happy with me anymore. There it was again, trying to turn it back on me. You really expect me to believe that? I asked coldly. That my love wasn't enough? That my sacrifices weren't enough? That's why you kissed him. Her eyes brimmed with tears, but her voice stayed steady. Yes, because I felt empty, because I was afraid. I sat in silence, my mind a storm. Every word out of her mouth felt rehearsed, polished, like she'd already built her defense long before tonight. Finally, I leaned forward, my voice low. You think I'm blind, but I see you now. I see the mask, and I won't forget it. Her lips trembled, but she forced a smile. I'm sorry, truly. I'll do anything to make it right. I stared at her, my heart heavy. Some things you can't fix with apologies. Some things change everything. She reached for me again, whispering, Don't leave me. Please. I didn't move, didn't take her hand. Instead, I let the silence answer for me, because deep down I knew the truth. This wasn't the face of a woman crushed by guilt. This was the face of a woman terrified of consequences, and I wasn't going to let her hide behind her mask forever. Chapter 5. The Other Man's Shadow. The next morning, I walked back into her room carrying nothing but silence. She looked up at me with tired eyes, but I didn't return her gaze. I sat in the chair, pulled out my phone, and pretended to scroll. She cleared her throat. You didn't bring breakfast. I didn't answer. After a pause, she tried again, softer this time. Are you still angry? I raised my eyes slowly, meeting hers. Do you really need me to answer that? Her lips parted, but no words came. She looked away, pretending to adjust her blanket. I watched her carefully. She wasn't broken like I was. She was calculating, afraid of what I might do next, and that fear planted a seed in me. I needed to know who he was. Later that day, when a nurse came in to check her IV, I leaned casually against the wall. Hey, I said quietly. The man who came by last night. Do you know him? The nurse froze for a second, then gave me a nervous smile. Visitors come and go, sir. I don't keep track. Don't lie to me, I said sharply. You saw him. Her smile faltered. I can't say. It's not my place. I leaned in closer. Then make it your place. Was he a doctor here? She hesitated, then shook her head quickly. No, he wasn't staff. That was enough to confirm it. He wasn't some stranger passing by. He came for her. When the nurse left, I sat back down, watching my wife carefully. She was fidgeting with her phone, scrolling like she wanted to look busy. Who was he? I asked suddenly. Her head jerked up. I told you, it doesn't matter. It matters to me, I said, my voice low and steady. Was it someone from work? She pressed her lips together, silent. That's it, isn't it? I leaned forward. A coworker, someone you've been talking to while I've been killing myself to keep this marriage together. Her voice was barely a whisper. It was nothing. Nothing doesn't kiss my wife in her hospital bed. Her eyes filled with tears. I swear, he doesn't mean anything to me. I cut it off. It's done. I laughed bitterly. Cut it off? How long was it going on? Her silence was my answer. That night, I called Amir again. It's worse than I thought, I said. It's not just some random mistake. He's her coworker, someone she kept close. God. Amir's voice crackled through the line. How long? I don't know, I admitted, pacing the empty corridor. But it wasn't the first time they touched. I saw it in her face. The way she hesitated, the way she couldn't answer me. Do you want me to find out who he is? Amir offered. I can make some calls. I shook my head, though he couldn't see me. No, I'll handle it. I need to know on my own. When I hung up, I walked back into her room. She was pretending to sleep, her breathing shallow, uneven. I sat beside her and whispered, You think I'm blind, but I see the truth now, and I'll find out everything. Her eyelids fluttered, but she didn't open them. For a moment, I almost pitied her. Almost. But then I remembered the way he looked at her, like she already belonged to him. And pity turned into something colder. I wasn't just a husband anymore. I was a man betrayed. And betrayal demanded answers. Chapter 6. Revenge in Silence. I stopped wasting my breath on begging her for honesty. She had already chosen lies. From that moment, silence became my weapon. For the next 2 days, I played the part of the dutiful husband. I stayed by her bed, fetched her water, adjusted her pillows, even smiled faintly when the nurses walked in. To anyone watching, I was the picture of patience and loyalty. But inside, I was fire. She noticed the change quickly. Every time she tried to speak, I answered with one word. How are you feeling? She asked. Fine. Do you want to eat? No. Can we talk? Later. The less I spoke, the more nervous she became. Her mask began to crack, her eyes flickering with fear whenever I turned away. That night, when she finally drifted into sleep, I stepped outside into the corridor and called Amir again. You were right, I whispered. Exploding won't help me. I need to be smarter. Smarter how? He asked cautiously. Silence, I said. I'll let her think she's safe. Let her think I'm forgiving her. Meanwhile, I'll build everything I need to make sure when I walk away, she has nothing left to hurt me with. Amir hesitated. You mean divorce? Eventually, I admitted. But not like this. Not with her holding all the cards. I'll take back control first. Then you'll need help, he said firmly. I'll put you in touch with Faraz. Remember him? My cousin, the lawyer. Family law is his specialty. The next day, I called Faraz. He answered with a calm, professional tone. Amir told me a little, but I need to hear it from you. So I told him, not everything, just enough. The kiss, the lies, the coworker. My voice cracked only once, and I forced it steady again. Faraz was quiet for a moment. Then he said, You've been betrayed, no doubt, but if you're serious about protecting yourself and the child, you'll need proof. Do you have any? Not yet, I admitted. Then get it, he said bluntly. Screenshots, messages, anything that ties her to him. If she thinks you're calm, she might slip. Until then, don't show your hand. I hung up with a plan forming in my head. When I walked back into her room, she looked up at me nervously. Where did you go? Just outside, I said casually. Her eyes searched mine, but I kept my expression neutral. You're quiet lately, she murmured. I'm tired, I replied, adjusting her blanket. Don't worry about me. Her lips trembled. Are you going to leave me? I looked at her, holding her gaze for a long moment before answering. No. Her shoulders sagged in relief. Thank God. I couldn't do this without you. But inside, I wasn't promising her anything. I was promising the baby. Later that evening, Amir came by with a file tucked under his arm. He handed it to me in the corridor. It's blank for now, but soon it won't be. I opened it and saw divorce paperwork ready to be filled in. She won't see this coming, Amir said. I nodded, my jaw tight. Good. I don't want her to. When I walked back into her room, she gave me a small smile. Did you get some fresh air? Yes, I said smoothly. And I realized something. What? She asked nervously. I leaned closer, lowering my voice. You're right. Stress isn't good for the baby, so let's not fight anymore. Her eyes widened, then softened in relief. So you forgive me? I smiled faintly. Something like that. She reached for my hand. This time, I let her take it, but in my mind, I was already elsewhere, counting days, gathering strength, sharpening silence into a blade she wouldn't see until it was too late. For now, I would play the role of the loving husband. But soon, she would learn what betrayal costs. Chapter 7. Cracks in her empire. The silence started to eat at her faster than I expected. At first, she wore that same mask, smiling faintly, talking about the baby, asking if I wanted tea from the vending machine. But the longer I stayed cold, the more she faltered. By the third day, her hands shook when she held her phone. She tried to hide it, but I noticed. She kept sneaking glances at me as if trying to measure what I knew, what I planned. Finally, she broke. One afternoon, as I sat scrolling through my phone, she whispered, "Please talk to me." I didn't answer. She tried again, louder. "Say something, anything." I looked up slowly. "What do you want me to say?" "That you're not going to leave me," she blurted out, her eyes wet. I tilted my head. "Why do you sound so scared?" She flinched. Because I know I hurt you. I regret it, every second. Please don't shut me out. I can't bear it." I leaned back, crossing my arms. "You should have thought about that before you let another man touch you." Her face crumpled, tears spilling. I know I was wrong, but if you keep punishing me with silence, I'll go crazy." I stared at her calmly. "Good. Maybe then you'll understand how it feels to lose your mind replaying a betrayal over and over." She reached out desperately. "Please don't say that. Don't hate me. I love you." I pulled my hand back before she could grab it. Love isn't supposed to feel like this. Her sobs grew louder, but I stayed cold. Later that night, Amir called to check in. "How's it going?" "She's breaking," I said flatly. "Good. She deserves to." I didn't answer right away. My heart was a battlefield, half of me still aching for her, half of me craving her downfall. The next morning, she tried again. I cut him off. I swear I did. He won't come near me again. I raised an eyebrow. "Did he block himself from your memory too?" She bit her lip, unable to answer. "You see," I said quietly, "the problem isn't him, it's you. Because no matter how far he runs, you'll always remember inviting him in." Her tears returned instantly. "Stop. Please. Don't say things like that. It kills me." I leaned forward, my voice sharp. "Good. Now we're even." For the rest of the day, she didn't speak. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. But I could feel her guilt tightening around her like chains. That evening, she finally whispered, "Tell me what you want me to do. I'll do anything. Just don't give up on us." "Anything?" I asked, my tone laced with ice. "Yes." I smiled faintly. "Then start by telling me the whole truth, not the version you've been rehearsing. The real one." She froze, her lips trembling. I can't." "Then don't ask me to forgive you," I said, standing up. She panicked, grabbing my wrist. "Wait, please. I was weak, okay? I was lonely, and he was there. He made me feel wanted, but it meant nothing. I swear it meant nothing." I stared down at her, my heart pounding. For a moment, pity tried to creep in, but I shoved it away. "You think saying it meant nothing will erase the image from my head?" I hissed. "Every time I look at you, I'll see him. That's your legacy now." Her grip loosened, her hand falling back onto the sheets. She broke into uncontrollable sobs, curling into herself. I turned away, my chest heavy but my face unreadable. Later, when the nurse came in to check her vitals, she glanced at me nervously. "Is everything okay between you two?" I forced a polite smile. "Of course. She's just emotional. Pregnancy does that." The nurse nodded, leaving quickly. My wife looked at me through red, swollen eyes. "You're lying so easily now. You never used to." I met her gaze coldly. "Maybe I learned from you." Her face twisted with guilt, and for the first time, I saw it, the power shift. She was no longer the one in control. Chapter 8. The confrontation. The silence between us had stretched too far. I could feel it breaking, like glass ready to shatter. That night, after the nurse left and the corridor quieted, I sat down beside her bed and decided it was time. "No more games," I said flatly. She looked up startled. "What do you mean?" I leaned forward, locking eyes with her. I know who he is. I know he's not just some stranger. He's your co-worker, someone you let too close, someone you kissed while I was out breaking my back for you. Her face paled instantly, her lips parting, but no words coming. Say something, I pressed, my voice sharp. Tell me I'm wrong. Lie to me again if you can. She swallowed hard, tears already welling. I can't. Exactly, I said bitterly, because I saw it in your eyes the night I caught you. That wasn't the first time. You don't kiss someone like that unless you've done it before. She broke then, her sobs spilling out. I'm sorry, please, I swear to you, I didn't mean to fall into it. It was weakness. I was scared and lonely, and he made me feel wanted. Wanted, I repeated, my voice cracking with rage. You were wanted every single day, by me. I was here, sacrificing everything, my career, my future, just to stay by your side. And you tell me you wanted. Her sobs grew louder. I know you gave me everything, and I ruined it. I destroyed it. Please, don't leave me. Please. I clenched my fists so tightly my knuckles went white. Do you even realize what you've done? You've taken our marriage, our child's first chance at a family, and you threw it away for a moment of attention. She reached for my hand, but I pulled it back. I love you, she whispered desperately. I never stopped. He was just a mistake. He meant nothing. I laughed bitterly. If he meant nothing, then what do I mean? Because right now, I feel like nothing to you. Her tears fell faster, soaking her pillow. You mean everything. You're my husband, the father of my baby. Please don't say that. I stood abruptly, pacing the small room. My chest heaved as I tried to hold back the storm inside me. You're scared now, I said coldly, but not because of love. You're scared of losing your comfort. You're scared of what people will say. You're scared of facing consequences. She shook her head frantically. No, I'm scared of losing you. You're all I have. No, I said sharply. I was all you had. You don't get to say that now. She broke into another wave of sobs, her voice cracking. Please, for the baby's sake, don't do this. Don't leave me. I can't raise a child alone. I stopped pacing and looked at her, my heart heavy, but my voice steady. I will never leave my child. That's a promise. But you? You lost me the moment you let him touch you. She gasped, covering her mouth as if my words physically struck her. I'll be a father, I continued firmly, but I won't be your fool anymore. Her hands shook violently as she reached toward me again. Don't say that. Don't end us like this. Please, I'll change. I'll do anything. Just don't walk away. I leaned down, close enough that she could see the fury and pain etched into my face. You already ended us. All I'm doing now is facing the truth. She collapsed into sobs, clutching her belly as if holding on to the only piece of me she hadn't lost. I stood tall, my chest burning, but my resolve clear. For the first time since the betrayal, I felt the power return to me. Not through revenge, not through shouting, but through the simple weight of truth. I'll always be here for the baby, I said quietly, but as for you, we're done. Her cries filled the room as I turned toward the door, and though my heart cracked with every step, I didn't look back. Chapter 9. Her Downfall. It didn't take long for the truth to bleed into the world outside that hospital room. Secrets never stay buried. Whispers started with her co-workers, then spread to her family. By the time she was discharged, people were already looking at her differently. One evening, my phone buzzed. It was her. I let it ring twice before answering. Her voice was shaky. Please, can we talk? I leaned back in my chair, keeping my tone flat. About what? About us. About fixing this. Everyone's turning on me. They've heard things, rumors. Rumors? I cut her off with a sharp laugh. They're not rumors. They're facts. Her breath hitched. You told people? I didn't need to. The truth has a way of spreading on its own. She started crying softly. They're judging me. My co-workers won't even look me in the eye. And him. Her voice cracked. He won't answer my calls anymore. He's gone. I closed my eyes, exhaling slowly. Of course he's gone. Men like that don't stay when the mask falls. Did you really think he'd stand by you when things got ugly? I made a mistake, she whispered, her sobs muffled. A horrible mistake. And now I'm alone. You're not alone, I said firmly. You have the baby. But me? I'm not yours anymore. There was a long silence. Then she whispered, I can't eat. I can't sleep. I keep replaying that night, wishing I could undo it. And I keep replaying it too, I said coldly. Only difference is, mine doesn't end with wishing. It ends with reality. A reality you created. She begged again, her voice raw. Please, please, can you come back home? We don't have to be what we were. Just don't leave me to face this alone. I stayed silent for a long moment, letting her desperation hang in the air. Finally, I said, You wanted him. Now you can live with what wanting him cost you. Her sobs grew louder, almost unbearable through the phone. I ended the call. For a moment, I just sat there, staring at the dark screen in my hand. My chest ached, not with satisfaction, but with something emptier. I thought I'd feel justice, maybe even relief, but all I felt was the echo of what we'd lost. Her downfall wasn't a victory, it was just the consequence of betrayal. Chapter 10. My Silent Justice. The night my child was born, I stood in the corner of the delivery room, my hands trembling as I listened to the cries filling the air. Not hers, the baby's. That sound cut through everything, sharper than grief, louder than betrayal. When the nurse placed the tiny bundle in my arms, I felt something shift inside me. Warmth, purpose, a vow I didn't need to say out loud. I whispered, You'll never know betrayal from me. I promise. She looked at me from the bed, her face pale and exhausted. Tears streaked her cheeks, but I didn't know if they were from the pain of labor or the weight of her regret. She reached out weakly. Can I hold them? She asked. I hesitated, then gently placed the baby in her arms. She cradled our child like porcelain, kissing their forehead, whispering apologies I wasn't sure were for the baby or for me. I stood there, silent, watching. And in that silence, I found my justice. She had lost me, and nothing could change that. No tears, no words, no pleas could stitch together the trust she had torn apart. But the child, they were innocent. They deserved love untainted by betrayal, and I would give it to them with every breath in my body. Later, when the room grew quiet and she drifted into uneasy sleep, I held the baby again, their tiny fingers wrapped around mine, fragile but firm. And I realized something. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need to shout or destroy her world. Life had already done that for her. My justice was simpler. I would walk forward with dignity. I would build a future for my child, and I would never let her betrayal define me. I kissed my baby's forehead and whispered, From now on, it's just you and me. And that's enough. The weight of the past began to lift, not gone, but lighter. And as the first rays of dawn filtered through the hospital window, I knew I had closed the book on her. But I had opened a new one for us.